it's small adjustments that can help you play better. So we've got My Strategy, which can take your data and overlay it onto any golf course in the world, so you can see what you want to hit off the tee, what your dispersion and tendencies will mean for your alignment and how you want to hit it down a specific hole. Again, great for course management and course strategy. You can get your coach to sign up to Academy for free, and you can push all of your data to them. If you're going to go for a lesson, they can spend 5 minutes before that lesson having a look through your data, so that when you rock up, it's not, how have you been playing? My driving's terrible. That may be, but if data can show actually, no, it's short game and bunker play, go and get the most value for your dollars and spend that time working with a PGA coach on that part of the game. It's just small decisions, small changes that can lead to better golf. And we see that continually within our ecosystem. Golfers coming back saying, hey, I played off 14, I now play off 8.
Hi, this is Trent Harwell from Germantown, Tennessee. I play at the Irene Country Club. This is Golf Smarter number 929.
Technology's evolution in game improvement data contributes greatly to lower scores with ShotScope.
This is Golf Smarter, sharing stories, tips, and insights from great golf minds to help you lower your score and raise your golf IQ. Here's your host, Fred Green.
Welcome back to the Golf Smarter podcast, Gavin.
Thanks, Fred. Thanks for having me on.
It's great to see you again. It's been a couple years. You were on episode 763 back in October of 2020. And we were just getting introduced to ShotScope because at that time, it was practically a new category in golf of, bringing in the electronics. And I can't think of any other sector in golf that is moving as rapidly as the electronic side, the metric side, versus maybe the PGA Tour may be the only thing that's moving as fast because of the tour and the competition that they now have. But what's going on with ShotScope over the last couple of years has been remarkable. How are you? How are things going?
Yeah, I mean, it feels like yesterday, right? Days merge, months merge, and it's an explosion across of technology, effectively. And there was a lag with the pandemic, with lots of companies, right? It hit R&D, it hit product innovation, and we were fortunate that back in 2020, we launched our V3 watch and our G3 watch. And then from that point on, we had plans to launch other products. They took a little bit of a hit in 2021. And then
is that primarily a supply chain thing, or was it just people not being together, working together?
To give you an idea, GPS components went from normally on about a 16-week lead time to up to 70 weeks.
Oh my God!
So, it's not my side of work, but I'm sitting there going, you're trying to forecast 70 weeks in advance of what you might need, and it was just impossible to innovate off that and understand, and it affects everything, right? So it affects our innovation, but we are beholden to chipsets that you can use. And so their R&D of chip manufacturers stopped. Production scaled because demand was through the roof, but they had shutdowns and lockdowns in the Asia, predominantly where they're manufactured. And of course, it just ripples down. And
sure. And 70 weeks is more than a lifetime.
Well, this is it. It's crazy. And now for GPS chips would be back down to like 22 weeks. So, for instance, we're looking at Q3 at the moment for 2024 for manufacturing.
Wow.
And with today's market, especially for us, you've got this wild swings of inflation and elections and different things taking place. And all you need is a couple of retailers to say, hey, we're thinking about doing a full rollout of you for 2024. And you're like, oh, great. Thanks for the notice. So, it's a challenge, right? And one of the things that we've done to combat that, and partly because of our users have asked, is go and expand our product lines and introduce different products.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, it's been a challenge, but again, it's good fun. That's the key. You're all golfers.
Well, good. You have a
ShotScope,
perspective
right?
on it.
It's all good
Yeah.
fun, and hey, it's better to be in demand than not be in demand.
Listen, you have kids. You understand. That's all work. It's fine. It's going to make itself fine. I got really more important things to deal with these days.
Yeah, exactly. They keep you on your toes.
Yeah, right. Much more than work. So when we first talked to you, it was really the watch, right? The ShotScope watch.
Yep.
And there was a lot of competition there. Apple, everyone tried to come out with these smartwatches. Then Apple does what they do, and they came out with the Apple Watch, and all of a sudden there was lots of apps competing with that. And I'm pretty nerdy. I'm a very tech-oriented person. I'm in my group of friends. I'm the IT guy that everyone's like, "Oh, that's Fred. He knows." They're like, "How do you figure out how your pictures where they are so fast?" All the time. So anyway, but I started using. I used your stuff. I liked it a lot. Then the Apple Watch, and then all the apps, and the Apple Watch just. I couldn't play a whole round of golf without the watch dying. You're like, okay, well, that's useless. And then all these GPS, the rangefinders were coming out, and they're giving you front, middle, back on your phone, or you have a rangefinder where you can look through, and it's giving you front, middle, back. That's great, but you're just looking at a pin. There's so many ways to do it, but metrics have become so important that this is just an integral part of everybody's bag.
Yeah, and so the metric side, back when we last spoke, the collection method was using our V3 watch. And for us, if you look at the UK golf market, 75% of golfers will use a watch. Mm-hmm. In the US, it's like 22 to 25%.
Wow. Is that because we take longer to play?
No.
The battery was...
I mean, it's growing quickly in the US, much quicker than anywhere else. And generally that's because of how easy a watch is to use on the golf course. Mm-hmm. But what that meant was we had that one product, and it was like, hey, if you want to track your game, capture data, here's how you use it. Here's how you're going to have to do it. Where we are now is we have, goodness me, 1, 2, 3, 4 different options of how to do it. And 2 of those currently are watch-based. One is a small handheld device that you can tag, and another is our an app-based product which you get tags and you can effectively use your mobile phone with on the course. And the reason for that is it allows golfers to go and track how they want to track. Now we can provide them 3 different ways to do it. We can offer them 4 different price points because we don't have subscription. So it's just, hey, buy whatever product, how you want to utilize it, how it fits with your game. And that's really seen an explosion of use of tracking. The minute we did that, right? And we'll see a lot of guys come in and use our app-based product, which is Connects. It's $100, no subscription. They get access to a GPS app. They can capture all of their data. It's pretty simple to use. And it introduces them to the ShotScope ecosystem, what you can gather off that data. And then what we see is 6 months, 9 months later, they say, well, actually, I've been watching how much simpler it is to track with a watch. I think I'll go and get one of those. And for us, the key is, hey, we don't want to tell a golfer how they have to track their game. We want to just provide, 4, hopefully there'll be a 5th option quite soon, in different ways that fits in with that golfer. And potentially the other technology that they have. They might have an Apple Watch because they want to do heart rate monitoring, or they feel like they need to be connected with the outside world on a golf course. So, hey, you could use a different mechanism to track your game. It doesn't need to be a watch-based. That's a real estate battle on the body, effectively, the watch. So that's one aspect of our growth. And then the other was we moved into rangefinders, which, again, is logical. And that came from two reasons. One was as we expanded into retail, they're saying, hey, look, what other products? We like your brand. It sells well. What other products can you bring to market? And we also started getting a number of our watch users saying, hey, I'd love to see if you guys could develop a rangefinder. And it's becoming noticeable within avid golfers that over 50% of them will now carry two technical devices, or two tech devices within their bag.
Two.
So that may be a watch system and a rangefinder. It could be a handheld and a rangefinder. So they like to have two. So we brought out the L1 at the end of 2020. We've now moved to an L2. We have the LX, the LX Plus, which is integrates the GPS as well. And then we'll have a new rangefinder debuting at the PGA Show next year. So, all of a sudden, from when we spoke, we had two SKUs to now we manage with colors and straps about 55.
Wow.
So it's a logistical nightmare. Is probably the best way to put it.
Too many SKUs for a little company.
It creates some fun and it creates a bit of a challenge, but it also allows us to service different markets and different types of golfers, right? Mm-hmm. Which is key for us because we've got quite a holistic view of the company is full of golfers. We just want guys to improve. You look out on a Saturday or Sunday and there's a lot of improvement that can be done. And I'm in this camp now where it's like, hey, I don't play as much golf as I'd like. I certainly don't practice. So if you don't practice and spend hours at your game, how are you going to improve? Well, data is an insight. Data can lead you to making some better decisions.
Right.
If you make a few better decisions, you will score better. So,
well, I think you're at a place in your life where it's more important to just get out there than worrying about, am I getting better?
You say that. Unfortunately, we have some very good players at the company, and it gets incredibly competitive on the golf course. So
that's really good.
Yeah, there's a pride aspect to the game, probably,
of course.
More than anything else.
All right, we're going to take a time out, and we're going to talk more with Gavin Deere about what's going on at ShotScope right after this. I really appreciate the fact that you guys are avoiding, up to this point, it may change at some point, but not doing subscriptions. I know it's hard for a company to figure out, okay, we sold our product. How do we get that person to come back because they have the product and hopefully it's going to last a long time? So let's do a subscription service so we've got them by the golf tees. It's like, how do we keep them here? And to me, as a consumer, I see subscription and I'm like, I'm not so sure. Why am I paying monthly for this where there's so many options where I don't have to?
Yeah,
that must have been an internal battle from, the bean counters to the players.
To a point, but quite early on, we had a look at the market and none of us felt comfortable with the subscription model. Mm-hmm. And that can be from a number of places, but I think one of the drivers would be, hey, we're Scottish. You're not playing golf all year round. How are you going to charge somebody a subscription in January when it's snowing outside? That makes no sense. And are you going to punish golfers for playing more golf? And fortunately, we've got models in place that don't financially we don't need subscriptions. And, if you take the L2, we can sell 30,000 of those pieces a year. That means that we don't need to sell subscriptions. And if we're smart, and again, if you're a ShopScope user and you want to add a rangefinder, well, hopefully, they like our brand, they keep it. So it's trying to create that ecosystem, and a lot of that fends off the need for a subscription. I fully agree with you. It's so easy to understand how companies fall into that trap. But at the end of the day, we view subscriptions as they will inhibit growth. And, I think our aim is to get up there to being one of the largest companies within golf. And if you're going to do that, subscriptions just aren't going to help you.
Right. Yeah, that's not what's going to sell the product. It's
not. And we're all consumers at the end of the day. I'm similar to you. If I see a subscription, I'm sitting there going, you got to show me incredible value throughout that time to make me sign up to this. I'm skeptical. It's difficult. And you go, look, I don't think you need it. I'd rather sit there in content and provide you additional value for free that makes you turn around and say to your friend, hey, your watch, you just ran over it in the car park. You should go get yourselves one of these. Yeah. Years
ago, when tags were just being introduced, I think it was Game Golf was one of the first ones, if not the first, to introduce the concept of tags. But you had to wear something on your belt, and then it was early in the evolution of the technology. And Arcos came along and kind of just dominated. And now you guys have introduced tags to your products as well, which I think is amazing, because now it's not just a GPS product. Now it introduces the whole metrics element into game improvement, which is so important for especially every amateur golfer, because we don't have time to stand at the range for 5 to 6 hours a day and play a round of golf, analyzing every swing and the speed and all these things. So any kind of any way that you can come home from the golf course and have information and data that helps you analyze where you are in your game and where you need to improve is so valuable.
Yeah, and it's a fascinating element of technology within golf. You've got this element of collection. How does something perform on the golf course? One of our standards is let's make sure that our technology doesn't slow down the game. So you've got that element. And then, as you say, when you come off the golf course, you upload your data to your app and everything's there. And that's what we pride ourselves on. We've got different ways for a golfer to collect, but we also pride ourselves on, hey, you might not be a statistician at heart, but hey, if you come onto the app, we're going to help you gain insights from it. We're not just going to leave you looking at a spreadsheet of numbers. And the way we do that is we'll go and ask you certain things. So we'll ask you your handicap. We'll ask you where you play, how often you play, what you're trying to do. And then we'll go and say, hey, here's your data. But hey, you play off 22. Well, here's what a 20 handicapper does. You're better than them at driving. Putting's where you're poorer. Oh, look at that. It's holing out. And you just want to create little places so that, hey, you don't have hours to go and stand on a putting green. But can you go and spend 5 or 8 minutes before you play next, just practicing from 5 feet and in? And it's small adjustments that can help you play better. Then additionally, you can look at strategies. So we've got My Strategy, which can take your data and overlay it onto any golf course in the world. So you can see what you want to hit off the tee, what your dispersion and tendencies will mean for your alignment and how you want to hit it down a specific hole. Again, great for course management and course strategy. You can get your coach to sign up to Academy for free, and you can push all of your data to them so they can, if you're going to go for a lesson, they can spend 5 minutes before that lesson having a look through your data so that when you rock up, it's not, hey, how have you been playing? My driving's terrible. Well, that may be, but if data can show actually, no, it's short game and bunker play, go and get the most value for your dollars and spend that time working with a PGA coach on that part of the game. And it's just small decisions, small changes that can lead to better golf. And when we see that continually within our ecosystem, golfers coming back saying, hey, I played off 14, I now play off 8. What have you done differently? I make a few decisions. I've concentrated on a couple of elements of the game. I know that I shouldn't hit it in bunkers off the tee, so I avoid them at all costs. And suddenly my scores have dropped. You know, it is that simple.
I know it's hard to go, no brainer, right? I mean, it's easy to say that, and it's like, is it really? Yeah, it really is a no brainer on that.
And we publish huge amounts of content about data, and it's all generalistic. Here's what a 20 handicapper does. Here's what a 10 does. Here's, we know hitting into fairway bunkers costs you a lot of shots. That's not rocket science, right? And it's great and it can help inform golfers. But until you've got individualistic data of your tendencies and trends, that's where the real golden nuggets are, right? And it's 3 putting from distance. We'll go and stand and hit putts up and down the putting green for 5 minutes. If you do it 5 minutes for the next 10 rounds, that's a lot of time you spent on that part of the game that you didn't before. And it's simple. Really it could be two less 3 putts around. There's 2 shots gone. So
really important. Yeah.
It's fascinating seeing and working with amateur golfers, and more than ever being in the position where yes, I've got a time crunch with it. Work a lot, travel a lot with work, young family, don't play as much golf, and I'm like, I get why you're not going to spend hours on the range. But hey, here's a couple of tips that you could do that just are small changes and they could have a big reward.
Big indeed. Another timeout coming up right now. I'm curious if the data on the tags, let's go back to the tags for a second, that the data that you're accumulating in the app, is that all happening in the background, or is there something you need to do post-round to make sure that it's all there and then you can review it? How exactly does that work?
So what we do is during the game of golf, you're collecting the data, and the tags don't have any batteries in them. So they never need replaced. So the device has the data.
And the tags are on the golf clubs?
Yes.
They're screwed into the grips?
Yes. And all they're really doing is saying, hey, this is a 7-iron. This is a 6-iron.
And I'm standing at this spot.
Yeah. And after your round, the device, so the watch or the handheld, will connect via Bluetooth to the app and you upload your data. Takes 6 seconds. And in that time of uploading, we effectively take all your swings, practice swings, real swings. We look at how you've walked, where you walked, the timestamps and the GPS locations, and we put it through about 1.5 million lines of code.
Wow.
And we know which course you were playing. We overlay it on our course mapping data, so we know, hey, this is in a bunker, this is in a fairway, this is a fringe. And we compile all of that. And then what we do is similar if you were going to sign off a scorecard. We say, hey, look, Fred, here's your scorecard. This is what happened. Can you just double check it? Are you happy with that score? Has it missed anything? Occasionally we'll miss a shot. If you hit a bunker shot and it comes back to your feet, the system finds it difficult to understand what that is. So we just take you through a quick sign-off period, which will take 1 minute or 2 minutes. And it does things like, hey, you hold out from 60 yards. Did that happen? Did we miss something there? Did that happen? You hit it 400 yards off the tee. Did that happen? Did we miss
It
something?
doesn't say,
right?
Congratulations, you hold out from 60 yards. Like, no, I didn't.
So occasionally, and the system gets smarter the more you play, right? Because we know what you average. So it's like, hey, that looks a bit unusual. And it can be the opposite of,
Don't get snarky about it.
I was traveling with one of the team in Scottsdale, and we went and played at Troon North, and he hit a boulder off the tee and it went backwards. And his second shot was further away from the hole than his first shot was. And of course, I'm sitting there going, well, this is going to be interesting. And in no doubt, the clubhouse, he uploaded it and it went, did this actually happen?
And I have to admit it. Yes,
it's just a little bit of checks, right? But that takes a couple of minutes. And then after that, all your data is available. And we'll show you overlays of each hole. We'll compile it so that, hey, you've played this course a lot, so you can look at your history of playing that course. We'll add it to your club distances, your percentages of fairway. All of that information just becomes available, and you can spend hours looking through the app and what you can gain from it.
So there's so many different rangefinders out there right now, and they seem to all be the same one, just with different branding on them. It's like, it looks like they were made by the same manufacturer, and then someone just say, here, put my name on it. Here, put my name. And then you get an email that says, the greatest rangefinder. It's like, no, I've used that one, and my friend actually uses it. And every time we're standing on the tee, we're getting different readings. Come on. Really? What's going on? And I used to, early on, I found a rangefinder that also had the front, middle, back readout on it. And I love that, because it gives me front, middle, back, and then it gives me an actual view of where the pin is. So then I can kind of strategically say, okay, I should play below the hole here, as opposed to try to reach the back of the green. And you guys have seemed to take all that technology and created a rangefinder that works with the tags. And that seems to be unique in what is out there available compared to your competition.
Yeah, so we have two PR companies, one for North America and one for Europe. And I was down playing golf with the UK one, and a course that I'd never played before, and I was showing them our first rangefinder, the Pro L1. And we've got a technical department, so they've had to learn quite quickly how a rangefinder would be made and how to do it. And we were out, and it was the 9th hole, par 5. I'm going to have a go at it in 2. And I'm like, I've lasered the back flag, and I'm like, that's a long green. And our PR guy, who's very experienced, was looking at me going, what's wrong, Gavin? I'm going, I don't have my watch. I want to know what the distance is to the front of the green. I can't find it anywhere. It's firm. I've got to land it around there. I don't know. And we then sat in a car for 7 hours with one of our team, and she's a very good golfer. And I was like, I kept coming back to this instance. And she was like, you know what? We could take a rangefinder and add GPS to it. And so we started kind of coming around with these ideas. How would it look? So we spent a couple of months and then presented it to our technical side, who were less than impressed, I think, with our models. But we'd kind of worked out a way that by putting a magnet on the back, putting a magnet on a handheld, you could connect the two. So you could have this versatility of this all-in-one product that was, hey, it's a rangefinder. It's also a handheld. It can be the handheld can be taken off. The rangefinder can be attached to the cart. You could shot track using the handheld if you want. You could leave it on the rangefinder if you want. You could do any which way of using it. And that's what the Pro LX Plus is. It's been a phenomenal introduction for us because it is a 3-in-1 product. One of its great strengths is that it's our handheld and one of our rangefinders combined. So they're a lot of the time, if you see a GPS integrated rangefinder, it's a rechargeable rangefinder.
Yeah.
And people, the what our golfers that live in colder climates will know, well, if you put a lithium battery outside in a cold golf bag in the garage, it can go flat quite quickly. So one of the great advantages with our rangefinders, the LX is battery operated, the H4 side is a lithium battery, but they're not connected. So if one ran out of battery, you still have a device.
Oh,
you still have the ability to use one of them.
Great.
So yeah, we introduced that in 2020, end of 2021, and it's been phenomenal. We revised it in the middle of the summer of 2023, which was effectively us putting a cart magnet on the side, because our initial rangefinders, there was no need for cart magnets because we're based in the UK and you're not going to use a cart. And, so quickly our second generations of rangefinders have included the cart magnet.
Which I never really understood.
To answer your sort of question about them all being similar, rangefinders are all similar. There are subtle differences in quality. It was a fascinating journey for me because I had to go and learn about this. Spend hours in golf shops all around the world, sort of just picking up rangefinders randomly.
Really?
So you get fire time. Now, for most golfers, fire time doesn't make any difference. Consistency
I don't know what that means.
So effectively, how quickly from when you fire the rangefinder that it will hit a flag and come back to you and show a distance.
Okay.
Right. And you're talking the difference between an industry-leading one and a normal rangefinder is half a second. It's unnoticeable to most golfers. You're right. We had to work quite hard on the consistency element of it showing the same distance. That was a learning curve for us. Our new rangefinder that comes out in January will, we think, compete with anything on the market at any price point.
Wow.
At the same time, we produced the L2, which is $150 rangefinder, which comes with a cart magnet, slope. It's a phenomenal value piece, and it's been an incredible seller for us in multiple different territories. So, it's trying to hit different price points, different offerings, making sure that every product's up to a quality that we would use, and adding in elements of innovation, whether it be adding the GPS and the capability of, taking the product and using it in different ways, which again is something that within ShotScope really pleased with, because they're core golfers. They understand the different use cases. Here's how I would use it. Here's how I would use it, right? And for a lot of the tech companies, they're not golf companies. They're doing different things, right? So it's different ideas around products, more margin based.
Well, this is usually where we take a break to talk about what's going to be happening this week on Golf Smarter Mulligans. But Golf Smarter Mulligans is on hiatus until the beginning of April of 2024. So in the meantime, we're going to take a quick break, and then we'll be back with more after this. One of the things that you said that kind of concerns me, and I'm just wondering how well that works, is you said that your front middle back rangefinder that's on the laser, and I'm getting the words wrong here, but it attaches to the rangefinder by magnets.
Yep.
And do you ever have issues with it disappearing, people losing it, it coming off, it bumps off while you're there? Because you add a second element there, and you're introducing a potential issue for clumsy people.
Yeah, no. And I'm just looking around because I'm like, I should have one, but
I'm talking to you, and you're like there's a bee buzzing around your head, and you're looking all over the place.
Yeah,
Where are you going?
I'm looking to see if I have one.
Your desk?
I don't. I have one of the H4s. So
okay,
it actually
that's the small unit that is the one that attaches to the range. Okay.
Yeah, and so it sits in the magnets attract, so there's a magnet on either side. They don't come off. It's
Okay.
incredible. And very stable.
But that's the thing, you can put that in your pocket as well, right? You
Oh,
don't
yeah.
need to have that attached to, so it doesn't necessarily have to be attached, but you can keep them attached and get the front, middle, back, and then look through the rangefinder and get the exact position.
Correct. And it comes with a little belt clip as well that the magnet fits in and clips to. And so there's multiple uses and ways that a golfer could use this, right? They could just attach this to the car. They could put it in their pocket. They could put it onto their belt. Again, it's a lot of our products are designed to how's somebody going to use this.
Yeah,
it's up to them.
Yeah.
So,
well, that's really smart. That's what I love about you guys is that you're golfers, and it's like you get to test it yourself, and as opposed to just having a bunch of nerds in the back room going, "No, you can't do it that way."
Yeah, and that's both hardware and software. So, when it comes to software development, it's features that the golfers within our company would like to use effectively. And, we go from, I was ex-professional, but we've got a couple of PGA professionals or ex-PGA professionals within our team. We've got a girl that's top 150 in the world amateur rankings. Then we've got various club champions, but we've also got 15 handicappers and absolute beginners within our team. Mm-hmm. So again, you get that breadth of experience, knowledge, and want from the products. So we tend to tap into that as much as I've seen any company do, right? To help understand what's the way forward.
Awesome. So what do you got coming up in 2024? And you mentioned earlier the PGA show, and if we, this is going to run right around the time that we're recording this at the end of 2023, but we're going to publish this show just around the time that the PGA show will be happening. So you're not giving up anything that, that hasn't been announced already.
Yeah, so we've got a new rangefinder coming out, the Pro ZR. Again, so we've been looking primarily at technology within the rangefinders. Mm-hmm. With the ZR, we've done that again. And again, looking at that consistency of fire and understanding, hey, how can we improve that? And our team have worked pretty hard over the last year to come up with something that we're really proud of. But then also looking at the touch and the feel aspect of the rangefinder. Our rangefinders up to this point have been plastic. The ZR is a full metal-bodied rangefinder. So It's way more robust than anything on the market.
How does that impact the weight of it?
It makes it heavier, but heavier is not a bad thing. Heavier generally makes it more stable in your hands. And again, just it's a really solid package. So it will be what our most premium rangefinder, but it's still going to be $300. So probably
quite competitive though.
Yeah, and in technology wise, probably competing against things that are $450, $500.
Wow.
So really pleased with that. It will be carried from the off in PGA Superstore in all of their stores. So again, available for touch and feel, which is incredibly important when it comes to the rangefinder aspect.
Yeah, this is not a kind of product that can be an online-only purchase.
Yeah,
you have to be able to feel it.
When you get to a certain price point within the golf market and technology, it becomes a touch and feel. Mm-hmm. Hey, I'm going to part with some serious cash. Am I really happy with what I'm going to buy? And that helps us with the ZR. So that absolutely fascinated to see how that goes. We've already had a lot of people interested at the retail aspect. And then further into 2024, we'll have a new watch coming out as well. So something that sits between our current offering, which is the G5, which is GPS only, and $150, and the X5, which is $299. We'll have a watch sitting in the middle of that again. So
You've got something for everybody now.
Yeah, and again, that's, for us, we pride ourselves on that. And you look around the ecosystem, and you've got Garmin there, you've got Bushnell. We talk about ourselves as being the third brand within golf technology, and part of that is the breadth of product that we have and the ability to say different price points, different types of customers. And that's something that's really helped us grow over the last couple of years and will help us grow in the future.
And you feel confident that the quality of your product line is competing with, again, you're a small tech company and you're competing with very large tech companies.
Yeah. Again, looking at our products, there's two aspects. So one is the hardware aspect, very comfortable with how that competes. And then the other side would be the software side, and incredibly comfortable. And effectively, we take care with our apps, our development, our features, because we are golfers. We're going to use the product ourselves. And even when it comes down to support, really comfortable with how that works. How, hey, you need your course updated. Takes our guys 48 hours. And then it'll be there. New course, whatever you need, it's adjusted, it's available on the app, it's available on your device. So I think that will see us with our growth. I think with the larger companies, it's more of a bottom line focus than ourselves, where, hey, we just want to grow, we just want to be there, talk to potential golf customers, get them into our ecosystem, get them to understand how we see the world of golf, and hey, we can help you try and improve.
I'm the type of nerd that likes to get information about what I'm doing, how I'm progressing. And a friend recently asked me, he's like, what do you do with that information? I said, I figure out what I'm not doing well and then try to work on that. He goes, you think that helps? I'm like, yeah, I really do. I really do. So, at first, having the tags with Game Golf, as we talked about early on, that gave me some good information and I liked it. And then, having all these different products, then I went to the watch, then I went to the phone, then I went to GPS apps, then I went to a rangefinder. And now I'm using Arcos on my clubs only, getting information, but it's mix and match. And I really have to I have to keep my scorecard and go over it with a fine tooth comb to compare the notes with Arcos. And it's like, this is really spending a lot of time doing something that I don't want to do. I was hoping it would be taken care of. What I love about what you guys have been able to develop and evolve as a tech company is that you have all those elements integrated into a single product, that you can get just the information you need while you're playing, but you can also go home, take all that information, compare it to how other golfers in your category are doing. What are the things that we can learn from your app once we, at the end of the round, besides, while we're playing, but after the round, what can we learn and how do we access that to help us look at what we're struggling with and how we get better?
Yeah, that's it. A never-ending question.
It sure sounded like it from my side. I kept going.
With the apps, our team are phenomenal at allowing a golfer to dig as deep and as granular as they want. And so, hey, you just want some basic club distances, we can give you that. It's a couple of clicks. Hey, if you want to go and look at every individual shot you've ever hit with a driver, you can do that. It's a lot of clicks, but you can do that. So it gives you what you want. It's not going to force you anything. We actively encourage guys that are working with a club pro or a PGA pro to connect their data to them through Academy. Get that insights and advice. But in reality, the system's just going to tell you. Whether it's using strokes gained, what areas of the game you're losing shots, where you benchmark against your peers, and then start to help you dig into that. So, hey, we'll show you short game. Fred, you're losing shots, short game against your peers. Okay. How's that taking place? Is that bunker play? Is that specific clubs?
I
Actually,
like that.
Fred, you pitch constantly with a lob wedge. Right. We would suggest trying to pitch with 2 clubs less than whatever you're going to choose. So, hey, I normally choose a lob wedge. Let me choose a gap wedge. I'd normally choose a pitching wedge from this location. Let me choose an 8-iron. So we're gonna try and give you some questions to go and answer, and say, look, here's some ideas of how you could improve without changing technique or concepts, right?
Wow, that is phenomenal. Have you been? Wait a minute. I'm not using your product. How do you know that about my game?
Well, this is it. It's an educated guess, experience.
Good guess.
So it's about this element of giving the golfer manageable insights, right? Telling you, hey, your short game's poor. Well, that's great. You may or may not know that. How do you deal with that? Well, okay. Well, if we say, hey, actually, Fred, it's your bunker play that's diabolical. It's letting the rest of your short game's actually quite good, but bunker play's a problem. Okay, well, there's 2 aspects to that. One is don't hit it in bunkers. The other is improve your technique to get out of bunkers. And at that point, we go, well, look, bunker play is pretty technical. We'd advise you go and see a PGA Pro. Go spend a couple hours with a PGA Pro. Additionally, let's try and not hit it into bunkers. So, hey, if there's bunkers short of the green, here's your club distances. Try and hit to the back portion of the green. So you can come at everything from a couple of elements, but it's that major understanding of, hey, okay, it's my bunker play that's my problem. And it's amazing how often you see golfers, oh, my chipping's terrible. Well, it's not great, but you've missed 15 out of 18 greens for the last 4 rounds. So is it your chipping? And then you dial back and say, well, why are you missing on the greens? Well, actually, you're not hitting great tee shots. And it's amazing the knock-on effect of going, right, okay, you're missing all your tee shots right, then you're kind of hitting it up somewhere around the green. Now you're chipping from a variety of locations. Can we take the tee shot and aim down the left-hand side? If you change your point of alignment and hit down the left side, can you hit more fairways? Data would suggest you can. Now you can hit some more greens. Now you're pitching less.
And there's also the element of your ego, and you're like, oh, I can hit this club this far. And it's like, nah, you're not coming up to the green, so obviously you can't. You got to club up.
Yeah, and even for myself, I mean, look, I played at a really high level. I find it fascinating. I'll stand on a course and I'm like, it's a little bit of a wind here. It's 130 yards. I'll hit 8-iron. And I go back and look at the system. Oh, wow, I only hit that 136 yards. You know, and I'd sit there and average flat cam 165 with an 8-iron.
Wow.
It's amazing some of the impacts that you can see on elevation or wind. And that's what the whole overviews give you. So there's so many elements of the system where you can go and gain insight. And effectively what it does is it gets you to go and gather more data. Enjoy collecting it.
Fabulous.
You know, use it correctly, improve your game, use it to record great golf trips around, you know, fabulous courses so you can reminisce and look back on. There's so much you can do in the systems.
I recently got a press release from you guys, which is what brought me back to giving attention to you. You announced a PGA Retirement Plus program. Can you tell me about that one?
Yeah, so the GRP program with the PGA was set up, goodness me, I think it was about 15 or 16 years ago. And it was effectively to go and help out pros in the first one. I think it was Titleist. Could get in trouble for that. Might not have been Titleist, but I think it was, who said, look, hey, we've got all these guys. They're great at helping us provide our product to their members. We want to do something for them. So GRP allows companies to contribute a bit to retirement policies of PGA pros. And again, it's like, hey, look, if you're going to stock us, we can help you in this way and do this. And it's not so much the facility that's reaping the benefit. They obviously get great margin, but also those pros and those assistant pros in those clubs. So
good for you.
We were thrilled to be offered a position on it, and we're the only tech company to be involved ever with GRP. So, wow. Yeah, it was fascinating. It was part of a trip I took to Frisco to see the new PGA headquarters and speak with some of the team about a few other things, and which is a phenomenal facility. If anybody's ever around Dallas, go up there and have a look. It is stunning.
I'll have to get them on the phone next.
So, so absolutely thrilled. Again, we launched that last week, and we've already had a number of PGA members reach out to us, especially ahead of the PGA show. So,
that's great. Congratulations.
Yeah, hopefully, we'll see some benefits. They'll see some benefits, and hopefully we'll get some more ShotScope users.
That's great. So. Tell me about how we can find more about ShotScope on social media and on the internet.
Yeah, so the best place to go is shotscope.com. You can gather, look, if you're just interested in what we've talked about, there's free ebooks about performance data. I think we've got 7 of them now that will give you some general insights about how to use data to help your game, some case studies. And then social media, I think we're at ShotScope on X. I still call it Twitter, but
I know we all do.
At ShotScope on Instagram. Those are probably the easiest places to find us. And look, give us a follow. And again, hopefully we can help you ask some questions next time you play the game of, hey, why did I make that decision? And I think if we can do that as a company, we're well on the way to helping you play a little bit better golf.
Okay, last question. Give me a rundown of each product, because now there's a bunch of them and what they have. Yeah, and do this in 20 seconds. No, you have a variety of products in a variety of price points. Can you give a brief overview real quickly?
Yeah, okay. So starting with watches, we've got the G5, which is a GPS-only watch, comes with a couple of different interchangeable straps. That is $150. Provides front, middle, back distances. We have the X5 watch, which is $299, and that's your performance tracking touchscreen ceramic bezel premium watch. We have the Connects tracking system, which is $99. Connects.
And what is that? That is a hardware, or is that just software?
16 tags, and you can use that to connect directly to our app to record your data.
Okay.
And
what is the price point on Connects?
$99.
Okay.
We have the H4, which is our handheld, is $150, round about that. Front, middle, back distances, all your GPS, and it is also tracking enabled, so it can capture your data. We have the Pro L2 rangefinder, which is $150. Slope, cart magnet, very good rangefinder for the money. We have the LX on its own, which is $249, $269, something in that region, with a cart magnet, red black optics, slope switch. And then we have the LX Plus, which is the LX rangefinder and the H4. And if you're buying them together, you save $100 on retail from buying them separately. So it's $369. They connect together, gives you all of that ability to have that 3-in-1 product.
Wow.
Awesome. I think that's everything.
Go to shotscope.com and figure it out for yourself.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, have a good look through. And again, look, we love questions. So if anybody has a question following on from this or wants to find out more, support at shotscope.com. Go and ask our guys, test them. They'll be back to you in minutes or hours, and they're great at what they do, helping everybody.
Awesome. Gavin, it's great to talk to you again and catch up, and congratulations on the progress and still being a viable company.
Once I start playing again, I'm going to make the ladder from the Arcos Club tags
making a name in the golf
my
industry.
New set of ShotScope tags in conjunction with their latest Pro LX Plus rangefinder, GPS handheld performance tracking tags. Absolutely love their new design, which makes the rangefinder easier to hold steady for accurate readings to the green. Also, the GPS readout is magnet-based, so I can keep it attached to the rangefinder or put it in my pocket or mount it to my push cart. It's a really impressive design and offers more features than any other tracking hardware-software combo that I've seen from any manufacturer. Next week, we're bringing back Scott Fassett, creator of the Decade Golf Course Management System. It's a great conversation that will get your head spinning when you learn how many ways we sabotage ourselves on the course and learn the true meaning of golf smarter. I mean, it's amazing. I've watched videos with Scott and people learning the Decade system, and it's clearly things we've been talking about for in our 19th year on this podcast on how to golf smarter by using course management and just, playing it smart, not beating yourself up. Anyway, great conversation. That's coming up next week. Now, if you remember, I think it was episode 920, our Golf Smarter ambassador lived in Texas, but the course that he played was in Oklahoma, nearly 70 miles away. And I was questioning, do you travel very far? I mean, why do you travel that far? And asking if other people do. Well, he got back to me. And apparently he's a VIP at the WinStar Casino that features great golf and great golf instruction, which provides him with full access. So he listens to Golf Smarter during his regular commute. Now, he was also excited to hear that we're now offering the Flight Path golf tees as part of our gifts when you share where you live and play, and then announce the number of the episode of our weekly show. So I invite you to become a Golf Smarter ambassador with the incentive of getting a choice of 3 great gifts for your effort of telling us, again, where you live and where you play, and then introduce the episode. Here's what you can choose from. You get a free link to Tony Manzoni's video of the Lost Fundamental, a glove storage compartment from redroostergolf.com, and then our new third option for you to choose from is the 8-pack of Flight Path golf tees from flightpathgolf.com. Just write directly to me and I'll send you simple instructions on how to record an episode opening that takes no time at all. Check out today's show notes to find links about each gift that you have to choose from. To see and hear the most compelling and helpful short tips and insights of our podcast interviews for both Golf Smarter and Golf Smarter Mulligans, which will be back in April, please follow us on social at Golf Smarter on YouTube, TikTok, Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, and Twitter, X, for our ongoing posts of videos and articles 5 times each week. If you have any questions, comments, suggestions for upcoming episodes or how I can get rid of tennis elbow, I want you to join our list of Golf Smarter ambassadors who receive a free gift. Just write to golfsmarterpodcast@gmail.com or click on the Hey Fred button when you visit golfsmarter.com.